It's August 8th, 2022. I just arrived in San Francisco from Chicago. Got my rental car, and I want to cross the bay. I've been in San Francisco many times before, but it's been a few years. I'm going to take the Bay Bridge this time. And it's kind of late rush hour, so the traffic is still pretty heavy. So obviously I'm on the lower deck. Traffic coming towards me is up there, above that. Unfortunately, because of the walls, you can't get a view of the bay. I forgot the name of this island that the bridge goes to. Is it Yerba Buena? That's what pops into my head. But we should go through a tunnel on the island. And then we're out on the east side of the bridge, which is a much newer structure. This replaced the old trestle type bridge that was here for a long time.
lane from the left. In 3/4 of a mile, keep left to I-80 East.
I think we're technically off the bridge at this point. Another lift bridge. Well, I'm detouring on California Highway 160 southbound, and there's a confluence of rivers or something here. Part of it's the Sacramento River anyway. And there looks like there's a nice bridge coming up, so I'll include that. Bunch of black beef there. Senator John A. Nejedry Memorial Bridge. Suppose they're expecting something pretty tall to come under here. Looks like they sometimes charge toll for that bridge. Nobody's going through it now, but
Take the exit to I-80 toll.
all right, we're going to cross over from Emeryville, California to San Francisco on August 10th, 2022. It's Interstate 80 or I-80 that crosses the bridge. So let's see, it's about 8:23.
Continue on I-80.
And we got to back up. There may be some toll, I don't know, or if it's just the normal rush hour cluster. I'm not really sure what the toll situation is on this bridge. Apparently you have to pay in one direction, not the other. I certainly did not have to pay coming the other direction, but I don't see any gates or anything here, so I'm guessing it's, I can't really see very far, but I'm guessing that it's automatically collected. And a lot of people were scrunching over here to the right, but I can't make out what the signs say, so hope I'm in the right lane. My rental car company said that, you know, the easiest way is just to drive through these things, and then they'll get billed, and then they'll bill me. Pretty much all the other lanes say fast track, which is, I guess, their equivalent of I-Pass or Easy Pass. And a couple of them are closed. Then there's whatever the heck is up here. And it does look like the toll is $7 per car. More if you have a larger vehicle. So everybody's going through these booths, or these lanes. There are booths, but they don't appear to be manned. Nobody's stopping and doing anything. And the signs say no stopping. Call fast track. Huh, it says valid fast track when I came through. I don't know how they got that, unless it was from the previous person. Anyway. Oh, they've got feeder lights on the bridge. That's what the holdup is. You have to wait until the light says green. So this part of the bridge is the fairly close to the water part. Not getting much elevation, but we're gradually sloping up to the newer suspension bridge span, the east part of the bridge. And this whole eastern stretch of the bridge is not a whole lot of years old. It's a pretty new bridge, replacing the old trestle bridge that used to be here since, you know, when the entire span of the Bay Bridge was constructed originally. That's Treasure Island over there, that flat area. And then the bridge makes a bit of a curve to the southwest, and then we go across the eastern suspension span. And just on the other side of that is Yerba Buena Island, of which Treasure Island is an extension. I think that's all man-made, Treasure Island, that is. One can get off the bridge here to go to both of the islands if you have reason to be there. And then we go through the tunnel. And then immediately we're on to the eastern of the two western suspension bridges. It looks like one suspension bridge with 3 towers, but it's really 2 bridges end to end. San Francisco is off there. So now we're coming up on the western edge of the eastern suspension bridge. So the cables, the suspension cables, come to an end for this bridge. They don't just swoop up again on the other bridge. They're terminated in the middle, and you can see the places where they make a curve and go down into the huge skyscraper-like structure underneath the bridge. Right there, there's the abutment for both of them. So we just passed over what if it were above ground would be a skyscraper, and it's just there to anchor the cables for the two bridges. And now we're on the western of the two spans. And San Francisco is all laid out there very nicely.
Light traffic on your route.
Okay, we're basically off the bridge at this point. And from the toll booth, it's taken 15 minutes and 18 seconds to get across. Well, we're finally through the downtown area. That took a while. And now we're approaching the Golden Gate Bridge, which is barely visible in the distance. But we have a little bit of this section of US Highway 101 to negotiate first.
Of a mile, take exit 439 on the right toward San Francisco Presidio, then take the first left.
Part of the Presidio is down there. Looks like there's a lot of fog out around the bridge still at this time of the morning. And as I said before, this is August 10th, 2022. It's about 9:20 in the morning.
Take exit 439 on the right toward San Francisco Presidio, then take the first left.
The stupid GPS still thinks it's navigating, even though I told it to stop. So now we're on the Golden Gate Bridge, and there's nothing to see except fog. See the cables going up into the mist.
In 1.5 miles, take the exit on the right to Alexander Avenue.
try to go off at Vista Point here, get a couple of views, and assuming I can get parking, don't know how busy it'll be, maybe I'll do a bit of a walk. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. Well, I got the camera started a little bit late, but this is a bridge over, I think, the Sacramento River, way up on the north side of the bay. I didn't catch the name of the bridge. On Napa and Vallejo. The Alfred Zampa Memorial Bridge here on I-80 southbound. Wondering if this is where the railway bridge that the California Zephyr takes comes in. It might be. I know it's right next to an auto bridge. But I can't see it for the guardrail. So I'm out here at the end of the marina near my hotel. It's very windy here, so probably all the sound is getting screwed up by the wind. But I'm just going to pan across the part of the bay that's visible to me here. So I'm looking pretty much north here, and that's looking kind of northwest, really zoomed in. And then that's up like Marin County up there, Marin County, and heading down there. Very nice path out here. Yeah, I think Alcatraz Island is out that way. It's in the way of seeing the Golden Gate Bridge back there. I could get to the Oakland Air Museum today, but it just wasn't in the cards. When I left Travis Air Force Base, it looked like I'd have about 20 to 30 minutes there to see it, but then as the traffic developed, it ended up being only 5 minutes. And I said, well, that's not it. So retired to my hotel, and maybe I can catch that first thing in the morning on the way to the Computer History Museum. Once again, I'm heading east across the Bay Bridge. I'm a little bit later in the morning than I was yesterday when I went to the Golden Gate Bridge. And it looks like the backup is a little less. So the backup seems to be caused by the proceed lights on the far side of the toll booth, or the toll plaza, instead of the toll plaza itself, which doesn't require stopping, and indeed they tell you don't stop. So it's really that's causing the issue, but today's better than yesterday. We can actually see the Golden Gate Bridge this morning. Yep, here's the traffic control lights, or congestion control really is what it is, just to keep the traffic thinned out a little bit. And I think part of that has to do with there are so many lanes going through the toll plaza, and then it narrows down to just a few lanes at the bridge. And if you have all that merging going on simultaneously, that would cause a huge mess and slow down. So I think one of the purposes of those lights is that they'll pick a couple lanes that merge together, and then their red and green lights will alternate. So it forces a zipper type merge that people maybe wouldn't necessarily do on their own. And it probably also is time to keep there from being like standing traffic on the bridge, you know, keeping the traffic moving. No point in crossing a scenic bridge if you have a truck in front of you that's blocking half the view. Yeah, unlike yesterday, the Golden Gate's in clear view today, but I can't get it in my camera because the guardrail on the right blocks too much of it. Definitely a less hazy, foggy morning than yesterday. can't take my eye off the traffic, but I can aim my camera a little bit and zoom, try to pick up some of the Golden Gate Bridge there and the crane in front of it, I think. Treasure Island's in good view today. Somewhat interrupted view of the Golden Gate in the distance. Speed limit on the bridge is 50 miles an hour. I think I've probably gone that speed once or twice when it wasn't too busy, but usually the traffic isn't really tearing across it. I was going to look for the spot where the traffic coming the other way fans out, but I missed it. I got distracted. So while the Bay Bridge is a much bigger bridge overall than the Golden Gate Bridge, much bigger in fact, the suspension bridge parts are just smaller, but I'm not sure statistically how much smaller. You know, it's pretty clear that the towers aren't as tall, and at least not as tall above the roadbed. They may be taller above the water, possibly. And the spans between towers are clearly less, but it's still a pretty darn big suspension bridge. It's also just not as pretty as the Golden Gate Bridge. It's not unattractive, but it's, you know, it's just sort of functional. Instead of that beautiful Art Deco appearance that the Golden Gate has. So after leaving Moffett Field, I'm way down on the southern end of San Francisco Bay, where it's very shallow most of the time. And there's a lot of facilities out here where they harvest salt and so on, I think. And there's, you can see a railroad bridge way over there with a swing bridge in the middle. That's probably where it's the deepest. And beyond that, it's all white. I don't know if that shows up. I think that's salt harvesting down there. Well, there's a Vista Point here, but I didn't see it until it was too late to get off. Anyway, there's a bridge over here going across the bay, and I'll try to get the video, although my low battery light is flashing. And you can see over there, it doesn't even look like water, it's all marshland. I don't know the name of this bridge, I'll have to look it up later. Now we're over the part of the southern bay that actually has water in it. There's that swing bridge. San Francisco is way, way, way up there. So now we've crossed into the city of Fremont. It's kind of like a raised berm causeway kind of affair up there to cross the rest of the area that potentially is wet, and there's all these kind of diked in areas there. I suspect they admit water from the bay and then seal it off and let it evaporate, maybe. I don't know what other things they do with this area. Never really looked into it, other than some aerial views and things that look like salt farms. That's why I'm of the opinion that's what this is. And the water over there is just green. But again, I think that's one of the salt farms. On the GPS. Tired of being behind this long rig up here. dry land again. Ooh, big bumps. Fremont and Newark, next two exits.